So the advice for lawyers that would like to work with entrepreneurs, I think the first thing is to know their business really well as they do, right? If you want to represent somebody who's an entrepreneur, I think the way you can really kind of represent them effectively is know what's driving their business, understand it. And you're not going to understand it maybe as well as they do, but at least you're studying it and you're becoming a student of their business. And I think that's important because when you're providing that legal advice, you want to make sure you understand the kind of the what's driving their business as much as you possibly can. The other thing on the business partner is, and it's probably cliche-ish, and people that get interviewed probably say the same thing a lot, but it's really not. It's trying to find the solution and not just identifying the problem. I've said that before that one thing I've tried to do in my career, entrepreneur or not, has been never bring problems to my boss that I don't have a solution for. It's okay to identify a problem, but just identifying a problem really is not helpful. You have to actually say, here's the solution. And that's a good lawyer who's like, hey, I know we have an issue here and there's an issue in this contract, but here's what I'm thinking. Because I kind of know your business and you've helped me understand your business, right? The other thing is, I would say, ask questions of the partner. And not to the point where you're frustrating the person you're asking, questions that you probably can find out elsewhere, by studying. But instead getting that nuanced question. It's like, well, why do you really care about this? What is it that's driving you? What's the point that you're trying to get to? And why in your business is this super important, right? Why do you really care? And then you can have that healthy dialogue to be like, you know what? I'm not so sure that's actually a relevant concern, and so it kind of going on that. The other thing that I think is helpful for an entrepreneur is they're already in a risk zone, right? They're already in a zone that's probably pretty risky. They've borrowed money. They're doing an idea that they think is a good idea, but they're not quite sure because they're just trying it, right? I think understanding where they're at from that point of view, and kind of maybe even thinking about, if I were them, how would I be feeling, right? Is probably not a bad idea for the lawyer. So it's being like, look, this guy's probably a bit overwhelmed with some of the things I'm telling him or her. Okay, I'm gonna measure. I'm gonna tell them all the things they need to know, but maybe I don't tell them all the scary things that could possibly happen just because I want to discharge my ability as my duty as a lawyer. Well, I gotta tell you, here's all the risks, right? But be measured and be like, okay, this person's head is swimming because they got a lot of things going on. Let me just help them on this one topic. And so what are you doing in that way? You're managing the client. You're understanding who they are, where they're at, that they're an entrepreneur, and you're using kind of managerial skills to understand how much you want to tell them at what points in time, and not kind of ignoring or not telling them what they need to hear because you just don't want to frustrate them, but being smart about how you approach them. Because they are your client, right? Ultimately, and clients need to be managed and handled, and so that's one of the tools of the lawyer is effective client management. And but again, when the entrepreneur is that person who is running hard to make something happen, and inside is maybe very scared about not winning, but understanding that part of it, that's at play for them. So am I going to give them the doomsday scenario with everything that I could tell them because I have to, again, discharge my obligation as a lawyer? No, maybe not. Maybe I just tell them where I think the real world concerns are, and I caveat that way. There's other things that could happen here. I know I'm not going to go into all this with you unless you really want me to. But here's the things I'm most concerned about in this situation. And here's what I think we should do about it, right? That's the conversation. And then, then the business partner is really ultimately what most lawyers want to achieve, right? There's, transactional lawyers that are just going to be, doing the in and out and the back and forth, and nothing wrong with that. It's totally needed in every way. But, the lawyer who's going to be more of the business partner, if that's the role you want to play as a lawyer and you want to, be next to an entrepreneur, I think understanding that part of the picture is important. That you don't want to bring the problem without the solution. You don't want to necessarily, because you're discharging your legal obligations, describe every situation that could actually happen, because that it's just going to make them even more scared and freak them out, kind of thing.